Hello, warriors. I'm a huge fan of mindfulness, or basically anything that can help us turn down the volume of our mental noise. Those of you who can't get to sleep because of the whirlwind of random thoughts know exactly what I mean by mental noise. I want to talk about something fascinating today and share a quick technique for staying more present. So let's go back in time a little bit. Actually, let's go back in time a lot to where we were just a year old. Now, imagine what it was like to crawl around in a flower garden at that age. There's no words attached to anything. We don't know what a flower is, or the color red, or what those tiny little tickling insects are that decided to join us in the garden. A one-year-old truly sees things for what they are. It's a pure state of being present or in the moment. There's no feelings of hate, no judgment, no self-esteem issues, no bipolar disorder, nothing like that. They express emotions in the most pure way also. If they're hungry or upset, then they'll cry. But the moment their needs are satisfied, they'll go right back to the present state. A baby isn't going to keep dwelling on their breakfast being a little late or feel bad for the rest of the day because they cried in the middle of a grocery store. There's more important stuff to pay attention to, like exploring the colors and sensations of the new world around them. Something profound happens, though, once the baby gets to be around 18 months old. This ever-present state of consciousness starts to change. They start to become self-aware. If you put a one-year-old in front of a mirror, they can't specifically see themselves like we do because there is no self to see. But at around 18 months of age, they start to see a person in the mirror. They start becoming namers and knowers. This is red, that's a flower, this is what's good, that's what's bad. It's great to have some sense of order to navigate through the world and society, but there's something precious that we lose through this process. I mean, think about this. You're driving down the road and you see a tree in your peripheral vision. Your mind instantly thinks tree, and all of a sudden the tree is dismissed from our thoughts because we've already know what it is and we've seen it before. When we put a name to something like tree, for example, it loses so much of what it truly is. We might think, oh, it's just a regular old tree, and cause us to miss things like the eagle's nest that's brimming with life on one of its branches. We've seen thousands of trees before, so it's just another tree. This is our brain's way of simplifying and processing the massive amount of sensory information that it receives every minute. We go from being present for just a moment right back to our thoughts about paying bills, where we have to be and when, or what we're having for dinner tomorrow. It's amazing how putting a name to something instantly diminishes what it is or what it can be. The same thing can happen with the people we interact with. For example, how many times have you met someone and thought that they are a bad person, only to realize that they're a great person who's just having a bad day? Words like bad person, annoying, crazy, unattractive, or whatever enter our mind, and that person just becomes a passing tree in our peripheral mind. My point is that we miss so much by thinking that we know what something or someone is without stopping to see them without all of the words that our mind associates with them. I'd like to share a technique that you can try to help cultivate a more present state of mind. It's very important to remember that many of us are going up against decades of doing or thinking about things in a certain way. You won't be able to change that overnight. It's almost like learning a new language, but instead of communicating with words, you're going to do it with pure feelings and perceptions. If you're able to do this exercise for even a few seconds at first, you're doing great. So the next time you realize the volume of your mental chatter is turned up way too loud, I want you to pick an object in your environment to focus on. I have a black coffee cup with a smiley face sitting next to me right now, so I'll use that as an example. What I'll try and do is to look at the cup as it is without any words of association. I won't think the word cup or black or even smiley face. I'll try to see the color, texture, and shape as if I'm seeing it for the first time in my life, as if I was on another planet and seeing something that I've never seen before. My eyes will follow the lines, shapes, and textures of the cup for as long as I can without a single word being attached to it. Remember that image of a baby crawling through a flower garden? try to take yourself back to that moment when you could look at something without any judgment or words associated with it. It's challenging. It really is. I can hold on to that object without words for several seconds before I realize that a word popped into my head. And then I'll patiently try it again, or to pick a different object. I'll try to notice things about that object that I've never noticed before. The last time I did this, I was noticing reflections from the light in the room that were very subtle on the cup. These are things that are right there, but I never would have seen them if I wasn't making an effort to be present. If you want to make things a little more interesting, try the same thing with a loved one. Try to sit and look at your partner's features without any judgment or words associated with them. When I did this recently, I noticed little things about my partner's features that I'd never noticed before, and we'd been together for years. Another way that you can use this exercise is when you're in an environment that you don't enjoy or around someone that you aren't fond of. If you're sitting at work or a family gathering and start feeling uncomfortable, try to pay attention to the textures and sounds of the environment without attaching any negative words to them. If someone's talking and it's annoying you, instead of listening to the words, focus on the resonance of their voice, the texture and colors of their clothes, or look for something beautiful in the room that you might have not noticed before. Techniques like this aren't going to instantly transform the way you see annoying people. It's more like a tiny break from all of the noise and stimulation of life, even for just a few precious seconds. By practicing this, I've been a lot more present on my walks lately, and I've been noticing new things now on every walk that my mind just dismissed before. I've been enjoying my meals a lot more by being present throughout the eating process. I'll pay attention to the texture and delight of my senses while eating instead of just trying to eliminate my hunger or loading up my next spoon before I've even finished chewing. My whole point and purpose of sharing techniques like this with you all is to help encourage self-awareness, to be more aware of your thoughts or your feelings before they snowball into something unmanageable. We're all at different places on the Polar Warrior path, so practicing mindfulness might not be for everyone here, and that's totally okay. I hope some of you find this practice useful and that it just adds another tool that you can use to help find a little more peace in your life. If you have a similar technique that you use, please feel free to share it with the community in the comments. I've learned so much from you all, and this place is definitely for sharing information. Take gentle care of yourselves this week. I love you all very much, and we'll see you back here soon for another video.